I'm sorry?
It appears that issue 1 has also given the legislature a mandate to move ahead on congressional redistricting process. Is that something that you folks will be taking up here shortly?
Well, I think what we need to do is let the process work out. The state, look, states are, of course, the arsenals of democracy, and Thomas Jefferson said it best. I think what we need to do, we've just proven we can do something really effective here. Now we need to see how the process is going to work. We need to allow that process to take effect, and now actually get into practice so that we know that we've got something here that you know, continues to work well.
And I will remind you, issue 1 was an initiative that was actually brought forward by the legislature.
Yeah.
So it wasn't the issue. They gave
No,
yeah, it
but
was
I'm just
actually
saying,
our
now you're
product.
going to move on to
Yeah,
Congress.
I think we held off because there was the decision, the Supreme Court decision regarding Arizona that caused some confusion on how we would proceed with congressional redistricting. So, as the Speaker has said all along, we need to engage our partners in the U.S. Congress and look at how that might be revisited and reformed.
But are you talking about waiting till the 2020 or 2021 to see how it works out on the legislative end before?
I think we need to let the process work its way out. We just, Ohio vote, the legislature put it forward in a proactive step, something to try to see how it's going to work for us. You know, there's still a lot of unknowns with that, how it's going to actually show itself, and let's see what happens here. We got to let things work through the process.
So you're not going to support congressional redistricting, putting that on the ballot as the legislature?
I think I've just been very clear in what I've said. We got to let this process work its way through. We just passed issue 1 on the ballot. Now let's give it a test. Let's see how the whole thing works itself out. We'll continue to engage in conversations about it.
Secretary of State said yesterday, though, that he's been putting out the message to the congressional delegation and others that congressional redistricting is something that needs to be tackled by the state, or else somebody else outside might bring something that you may not like, and therefore it's something that, you know, you have a process that seemed to be approved by voters, why not go ahead and move forward with something that they seem to like?
Well, I think that's what the Speaker's been saying. Let's see how the process plays out. I mean, and as I said, we need to engage the members of the Ohio delegation of the House, the U.S. House, and talk about it. But you know, we just passed issue 1, and I think it will be good for all Ohioans. I think it's something that through a process we can visit as it relates to how we might do congressional districting reform. But there is a process to it, and that's what I've been hearing the Speaker say.
Do you have any sense then what will happen?
What do you think of my beard? You know, for a guy that can't grow hair up on top, I'm trying really hard somewhere else. You know, it's November. But I've got to take pictures with all the staff here soon, so I think I hate to take pictures with the staff with a beard that I don't normally have. And if you remember, a year ago today, I still had a beard when I was made all that we were just elected speaker. So anyways, I interrupted your question.
There's legislation on the Senate side that sort of revives that plan that was put on hold last year for congressional redistricting. Presumably it will make its way over to the House.
Sure.
You're talking about letting the process play out, though. That seems like that could be years.
Well, part of the process is to hear out the bills that are in the current informed. Senate's got the bill. When it comes over, it'll have its day before our process as well in our committee. It'll have its proponent and opponent testimony. We'll see how. I'm talking about let's let the whole. I think it's the best reaction to we're only about a few years away from this whole thing taking place to take shape. We need to continue to see how this is going to function, and this was a bipartisan effort, and I'm sure that we can continue to work on that, and we'll look at it at this bill. But clearly you're pointing out the fact that the legislature, we're looking at it, and we've looked at it before. Senator LaRose has brought this forward in the Senate. They had the same bill in the last General Assembly. We'll have the conversation. We proactively took steps here in our own legislative districts. I think that's where we wanted to take a look, and now it's time to just kind of see where we're going, see how we're doing.
You're talking about process, it's not necessarily just how the
absolutely
commission itself works. It's hashing out.
Absolutely.
Taking testimony.
Absolutely.
Just to make sure I'm clear, that this is where the confusion is, I think. You're not talking about the process being the 2021 redistricting to see how that works first, before talking about congressional redistricting. the process that you're referring to is actually the legislative process?
Absolutely.
That's already
We-
underway now?
I think there's several. I mean, we first just passed something new that we are now just getting acclimated to. That process has got to get going and get ready for the future here that's coming up. But also, we've got a process working that's been working through the legislative process. A lot of process here through the legislative, initiatives that Senator LaRose has led. Again, this happened before in the last General Assembly, and we need to talk to our counterparts on the federal level as well. So we're talking about just letting this whole thing continue to work its way through, and we'll look, and when it comes, we'll address it like we do with any bill.